Hey everyone, welcome back to Adventures with Edna. I'm Chris. Chance is going to be back later today. Um, but right now we are looking at the possibility of lowering Edna a little more than she's already lowered. I don't know if this is the best representation of how Edna sits because she goes downhill that way, the way she's parked right now. So she could be kind of leaning back this way to. I don't know. Uh, Physics and stuff. What we're thinking about doing is, well, let me back up there for a minute. Edna is currently lowered by a drop axle in the front, 3 inches, and then one leaf removed on each side. And then the back is lowered by removing 4 leaves from each side. One thing I want to do with that is I would kind of like Edna's back end to sit a little bit lower just to take some of the rake out. Like I'd like it to be down on about another 2 inches. Depending on how she's parked, she's significantly lower in the front. I actually could go lower in the front than it is now, but I'd have to run a smaller tire because when the wheels are turned hard over, if you hit a bump now, they will rub. Uh, but you can drive safely in a turn without that happening. It's the inside wheel that'll bump. But unless you're kind of like pulling into a driveway with a curb too quickly, that's really not an issue. Um, but one of the things with the back is that since we removed all those leaves, you guys know that I do stuff with Edna. You know, I use her to haul stuff. We got a new washing machine recently. I had to put that back here. But because I've removed all the leaves, there's no tension in the back end. So she drops down, even just under my own weight. Like if I get her on the back, she drops that much, which would be a more ideal height than what she is now. And then I don't know if that makes her necessarily more bouncy. Edna has needed shocks the entire time that I've owned her because back when I first lowered her, I got new shocks for the back. They were the wrong ones. I sent them back, and then I never did order new ones. But the old ones were just kind of, they have no tension at all. They just kind of, so they're not doing shock things anymore. So right now, she's how bouncy she is. Chance would have probably liked to do that. We're going to get underneath, see what our options are for lowering her some more. Right now, the running board is roughly 10 inches off the ground. This ground isn't even either, so 9 in the front. Yeah, there's kind of a hump in the ground over there versus over here, so that's totally not accurate. But we're going to get underneath. We're going to see how much lower we can go without having to get too crazy with modification. I think what I want to do is order new springs for the back. From the Speedway catalog, there is a set of posies that are a 3-inch drop over stock. I think I kind of want to get those because that'll bring the back end down and it'll still be strong enough to haul things should we need to. So let's get underneath. The microphone died here, and I didn't know yet, but I'll figure it out. Yeet! It. It. I don't remember what I was saying exactly right here, but apparently I'm looking at things. So right here, we're just kind of looking at some of the space we have available, which isn't a lot to work with here. I think that was right at 2 inches between the bump stop. Yeah, about 2 inches between the bump stop, 2.5 between the bump stop and the rear end. It was the same on both sides. Not a lot of movement in there, but I can shorten the bump stops if need be, because they're about 2.5 inches thick and there's a lot of depth in there, so you could easily remove a little bit of material in there to give yourself just a little bit more space, another inch. So I'm thinking that if we put the other springs on, if we have to, we can just cut that a little bit shorter. I actually have new ones that I bought back when I first lowered it that I never put on. So we could swap those out while we're in there as well, just to kind of give a little bit extra cush should it hit the bumpers. I think right here is where I realized that my hair looked like the guy that says aliens. Confirmed. Now I'm just saying some of the mumbo jumbo, maybe some of the stuff I already just said. Right here I'm pushing on the bed a little bit to kind of show that it needs new rubber in the bed mounts, because the bed rattles, and I've already purchased the new rubber to go in there, so I pretty much just need to get under there and get that swapped out. I'm going to have to get some new bolts. I don't know if I got to cut that out or if I should just try to break the bolts loose or whatever, but they look pretty rotten, so, or rusted. Right here you can see where the rear end actually hits the exhaust a little bit, and that could be from the lack of shocks in here, kind of helping to make it less bouncy. Probably hits that every time I hit a good bump or something like that. Now, I did remove every other leaf in here, so there's 4 leaves on each side missing. So that probably gives it an inch plus whatever tension got lost in the back end. So here's where I noticed something bad. These bolts are all loose on the driver's side of the rear end. Pretty significantly. This could have been really dangerous if I hadn't caught this. So I'm actually quite glad I got under here today and noticed this. They're good on the driver's or on the passenger side, but they're really loose on the passenger side. So we're going to get under here with some wrenches and fix that. And I think that's about the time that I noticed that the microphone wasn't working. So we're going to do that, and we're going to check the rear end fluid while we're under here. So let's go get some tools for that. Okay, so maybe I didn't notice yet that the microphone's not working. So we're going to soak this down with some WD-40. Surprisingly, I actually grabbed the right wrench on the first try, because I totally guessed at that. And I did bring the adjustable wrench just in case, because I was pretty sure that was going to be wrong. But you can see all that movement right there. So that's really bad. So we've been driving around like that for God knows how long. But we're going to get that soaked down with some WD-40 and let that soak in for a few minutes. And then I think, because I got back out from under the truck at this point, so I'm pretty sure that's where I noticed the microphone's not working. So this video should go much better after I notice that. Again, here's those the back bolts for where the bed mounts up to the frame. You can see those things are really, really loose. There's no pad on this side. There's a pad on this side, but the bolt's loose, so that's going to need some work. All right, those are nice and tight now, so crisis averted, and this is where I finally noticed that the microphone wasn't working. So from here out, there will be sound again. All right, so I just now noticed that the microphone was off, so Hopefully we didn't record too much with no microphone. I guess we'll find out in editing. Alright, let's get some... Let's see if we can get some oil in this rear end. If I can get this wrench out of the thing here. No, that's not low at all. I was afraid we were going to have to add a bunch, but apparently not. Alright, so we'll just button that back up. Alright, let's get back out from under here. This camera angle here looks a little more accurate to how she normally sits, so you can kind of see the rake a little bit better. Well, I'm really glad that we were able to catch that. Those bolts being on the spring, that could have been really dangerous, especially if Chance is in the truck with me, or anyone else for that matter. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, whether you think we can go lower with Edna, and if the tighter springs will kind of get some of the bounce out of it so we're not hitting anything. Let me know if you've done this project before, see what you think. I'd really like some feedback from all of you guys. It's all really appreciated. Anyway, don't forget, adventures are everywhere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, especially if they've had similar circumstances. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.